Well, I was born at a party in a barn with a guitar strapped across my arm. So I learned to play in a different style. Everybody knows that I'm hog wild. Well, I was born at a party in a barn with a guitar strapped across my arm. So I learned to play in a different style. Everybody knows that I'm hog wild.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into another episode of Tusketeer Hogcast. We might look a little weird. I don't have headphones.
Rookie mistake.
I left them at the house. It's been a crazy day. But I can hear y'all, just not through the headphones.
And you can hear him.
You can hear me. So we took a week off last week.
Bye week.
Yeah,
We needed a bye week.
We took a bye week on the bye week. We didn't plan it that way, but that's the way it happened. But hey, what a week!
Man, that was
before that.
awesome.
Hogs come in as the underdogs to their own stadium and go in there and pull out a win against the top 5 team. I was there, and I tell you that the fans were amazing.
Did you go on the
They
field?
said
No, I didn't rush
that
the
was the
field.
best crowd they'd seen.
It was packed. It was loud. The night games in Fayetteville are really special.
Got another one coming up.
Got another one coming up.
They said this is the first time Arkansas has held back-to-back top 10 matchups in Fayetteville.
Yeah, it
First
is.
time ever.
First time ever. I like our chances this week and our odds. But shout out to all the crowd last week for showing up and showing out. There was a ton of Tennessee fans. Before the game, I was like, well, they're all going to be in their section right there on the east
No,
side.
you can see it on the TV.
But
too.
there was
they were
orange
everywhere.
in every section. We did the stripe out, and obviously it was easy to see them in the red and of
Well,
course in the
Tennessee's
white,
a little bit
but-
closer than Auburn and, Kentucky, South Carolina.
Yeah.
They're a little bit closer than some of these teams we play.
Yeah, for sure. But it's like I said, they
Plus, they have a team to look forward to. They're wanting to see.
There's probably a lot of
high
Chair fans
expectations
in
on that.
Memphis. Just outside
yeah,
of
for
Memphis.
sure.
They've got a 3.5 hour drive
yeah.
or 4 hour drive,
Yeah.
and they're there. So
Yeah. So of course, Wes and I were there with Scott and his brother-in-law drove up from Tennessee, and Scott and his brother-in-law, they're Tennessee fans. So we were 2-2 there at Donald W. And, loud, I think they need to improve that was my first time at Donald W. Since 3 years, because last game I went to was Arkansas, Missouri, 2021. We won.
Yeah.
But they need to do something different with the stadium during the fourth quarter. When it's close like that, they need to pump something in to get you hyped up.
did you see LSU the way they do?
It's
their
a
home games?
It's a madhouse.
They know how to throw down.
Yeah,
Baton Rouge and those
a
student
madhouse.
sections.
The lights and everything.
the
right? They
lights,
start flashing.
They start flashing everything. They
Yeah.
play music. Arkansas needs to get on that level.
Alabama does
Yeah.
the same
We need
thing.
to
Georgia.
take
Basically
LSU.
all stadiums do the new light thing and all that. We got to up our game.
Yeah,
for
we
sure.
really
But,
do.
I mean, even like the music, like they played I can't even remember what song it was. Like maybe we will rock you, or like some Queen or something like that. And just like, there was a couple people singing, but that's it.
Yeah.
And then like when it comes,
We have a mixed bag crowd though. We've got some older
always
folks,
Yeah,
got the
that's
old
everywhere,
people.
though.
Always
That's
got the
everywhere.
old people, but
LSU. If there's some old people, they rocking with the young
yeah,
people.
they're
Let me tell you,
rocking.
'Cause
Well, they don't have a choice.
everybody's having fun.
Yeah, but the way I went back and watched it on TV, and the way that it looks when they come, there was a on prime time. That's the only thing I hate about it is the media timeouts. Because when you're at the game, you notice it. I feel like a lot more than when you're at home
Yeah.
watching it. Or
Well, because you got
anywhere else.
timeouts and then you have those timeouts. So all
Well,
the timeouts are
there
doubled
was-
up.
There was that, and a lot of injuries that game too, on both sides of the ball. So there was a lot of stoppage, and so what I noticed when I rewatched it on TV was when it came back from a commercial, it kind of looked like the stadium was just, not really rocking. A lot of people sitting down.
Yeah.
It needs to come back from a commercial, and it's like, man, this place, like we've already said, like Baton Rouge, Death Valley, it's a madhouse.
Yeah.
And so that, like I said, it was loud. It was really loud, especially on third down. Place got rocking.
Yeah.
But
So let's get into the details. Why do y'all think we won?
Well,
It's a
that's why I pulled
defense.
up, and
I
I had
mean,
this on my phone. In every
defense.
facet of the game, as far as statistic wise, we beat them. Total yards 434
Rushing, they
to
beat us.
332. Passing yards, barely. They beat it. They had like
40 yards.
40 more yards. That's not much.
Most of that was
Passing,
in
we
the
had
second half.
297 to their 156. We averaged more yards per play. We had more first downs. We
Time
had,
of possession.
time of possession was
huge.
35 to 24 minutes. Just more plays. They punted 7 times. We had 3. We had a 4th down conversion. I mean, like I said, you go through here, other than rushing yards, we checked about every box.
I'm surprised the way we responded. We went down, what was it, 14-3?
Yeah.
We drove right down the
And
field.
we've seen
scored a
games
touchdown.
where we have not done that.
That was the most surprising thing to me is how we responded to adversity,
and then especially with Taylor going down, it kind of that did kind of suck the life out of the stadium a little bit. But once and
the
then,
first drive didn't go
then
so
you saw
well.
Malachi get happy feet. He was the snaps were off. You go from a 6'7" to I don't know how tall Malachi is, but it's different.
6'1", 6'2".
Yeah, there's
Typically,
there's
that's when
height
Razorbacks
difference.
fold. Is stuff like that happens.
Yeah.
we don't.
Yeah, for sure. Well, one thing that I've started to notice, especially with T-Will, he's gotten all the credit in the world and deserves every bit of it. But his halftime adjustments, say Oklahoma State, was lacking, and they caught up. We were ahead by
He
so much.
adjusted.
But he has been making a lot better halftime adjustments to where you're not seeing so much of a gap, so much of a lull in the second half. We've been able to sustain that tenacity and intensity on defense to where we're putting more 4 quarters together instead of just a half
I
together.
think Tennessee finally realized we were basically trying to make them run the ball, stop the pass.
Right.
And so the second half, they started running it, and that's why their run totals is more than ours because they figured out, to beat this team, we're going to have to run because our passing game, they're better than we thought.
Yeah.
And
that's
our
what, to me, and we
three-man
talked about
rush.
this, is our secondary is way better than what I thought it would be. And we don't even have Jalen Braxton. We don't have our number 1 guy in there, and we're still defending the pass so well. And that's going to be,
And we were
we'll talk
confusing
about that.
them. We were
That's going to be
confusing
one of my biggest
That's-
keys going into the LSU game is big plays and being able to make sure that we sustain that successfulness from the secondary, because I think they've got better athletes on the outer perimeter, their wide receivers, than Tennessee does.
I think we've shown Tennessee everything we have to give as far as scheme-wise. I'm just hoping now that LSU is going to be prepared for it, right? You would think so. Like with our 3-man front that we pulled out of our butt against Tennessee, they weren't expecting that.
No.
And we were all these blitz packages. We were getting to the quarterback,
Yeah.
and that was huge. That was the only reason we won, because our
Well,
secondary is good, but our pressure on the quarterback was best it's been all year.
Well, you know why we did that, right? Did you hear what Pittman said? Pittman said the reason why we did that is they went back and looked at the team that had the most success against Tennessee this year, which was Oklahoma, which Brent Venables is the old defensive coordinator from Clemson. And they did something similar not exactly the same, but something very similar to what we did, and say they added their wrinkles and added a little this and that, little sparkle to it that they know they would maybe be more successful at, that fit their personnel,
Mhm.
our defense's personnel.
Yeah.
But that was very brilliant from T. Will to throw
Yeah,
that
for
at him.
sure. And I think another
Caught him off
key
guard.
is, I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name, but it looks like I'm a Leva or whatever, but young
Well, they was
quarterback.
leaving the stadium with an L.
a young,
How were the Tennessee fans after the loss? Were they pretty bitter? Were they like
I mean,
congratulating us?
They
or-
were talking smack to Wes walking into.
I'm sure they were talking smack.
No,
I'm asking
yeah.
walking
Our
out. though.
fans
Well,
was
we
talking
walked- we
smack.
walked
to
Were
them.
they
How about that?
arrogant walking out, like
No,
saying,
no,
"Oh,
not
y'all
at-
suck. We should have beat y'all"?
Not at all.
We played like trash.
No, not at all. It was. I think they knew they were. I think they all were a little worried about how their young quarterback, was going to perform in a
Yeah.
pretty hostile environment. Because they went and played at
They didn't
OU,
perform very well.
but he wasn't. OU. I'm sure that their stadium's loud, but it wasn't.
Even-
It wasn't
even at the
a-
end,
it
I
wasn't a
mean,
night game.
He
in
made
the
a freshman
SEC.
mistake. I got to get rid of that ball. I
Yeah.
mean, he has to, and he ran straight out of bounds.
Yeah,
in
Why
that
would
game.
you not throw that
can't
ball?
do
Throw it, even if it's a pick. Throw the ball.
Yeah,
but
that was amazed me when he kept
freshman,
that.
you
But
know,
he may have
mistake.
thought there was 1 second left. He may have thought
Maybe.
he got out before the clock ran out.
was it
Yeah.
fourth down?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was so it
fourth
didn't
down.
matter. He didn't
Well,
have the
I guess
first
it was
down.
fourth down.
He
Yeah,
didn't
it
have
was
the
fourth
first down
down.
anyway.
It was
So,
Yeah.
the game either way. So
but
So he
Um,
did not get the first down. That's one thing I didn't notice if
Mhm.
he got past
what,
the sticks.
what I'm worried
yeah.
about, who did Tennessee play last week?
Florida.
Florida.
Florida
They
held them
barely
close.
got. Yeah,
Oh,
they
barely
had to
got by.
come-
they had to come
Terrible, terrible Florida team. So I'm
It was an
worried.
They may not be as good as
I'm
what they-
worried Tennessee isn't as good as what.
But South
everyone
Carolina
thought.
almost
So,
beat LSU too.
Therefore, we're not.
We'll find out because this week on Tennessee, and maybe even Bama too, because Bama obviously got beat by Vandy,
Yeah.
got held close to at South Carolina, and so Tennessee and Bama are this week, so we'll see. But I think the two big games this week in the SEC is going to be Texas, Georgia,
Yeah, it's a huge.
and
game.
Arkansas,
Huge
LSU. I think a lot of people are
Well, I think with
looking
Arkansas,
at this game
LSU,
too.
The line.
they're
They're
looking
giving us
at
credit.
say, okay, Arkansas did it once. Let's see if they can do it twice. Because if we do it twice, we're gonna.
What's
They
the line?
cannot keep us out of the top.
Last time I
25.
looked, the line was at
Yesterday was 3.
3.
So it's 3
Yeah.
now. It's going.
Well,
up.
Well, if we're 5-2 and we have beat 2 top 10 teams, you better put us in the top 25.
Oh yeah,
They
we'll
have
for
to.
sure be in the top 25. But
I wonder what we are now. Probably around 30.
I would say probably on the
something like
verge.
that, probably 30,
Yeah.
32, something like that. But so I think that was our big keys, was defense and secondary.
Who would you
and
say
how
was
we-
the player of the game on both sides of the ball?
Well, Armstrong on offense. I mean, he had 140 something
see. Yeah, I got it
receiving
right.
yards. Yeah,
I think you got to go. I'm going to go somewhere different. I would have said that, but
It was
since you said him, I'm going to
132.
say
130.
9 receptions, 130.
Yeah.
Braylon Russell. To me,
Right, and-
he was huge. We got to get him more carries. He's getting.
He's going to carry the ball a lot this week.
I know they were worried about his protection issues at the beginning of the year, but it seems like
Well, I'm going to say,
He's handling that,
say this.
so-
I will say, even though he didn't throw a touchdown, he went 19 for 27. That's 73%
It was his
completion.
best
I'm
passing
going to say
game.
Taylor Green is best passing. If he hadn't have played like that, we would
he
have lost.
played like a game manager.
So-
Even
and
that
that's what
play,
this team needs. We have a good enough defense and a running game to do it.
Yeah.
We just need a
and
game
well, we
manager.
Just don't
also
give it away.
we
Just don't give it
extended our-
away.
we
Don't
extended
make
our
stupid
drives.
plays,
Yeah.
stupid decisions. Don't
Yeah.
do that.
We
You
were
And he
ain't
did
gonna
that. I would say Taylor Green was our player of the game
Yeah.
on offense.
Well, and that's another key is we were able to extend our drives. It might have been 3rd and 3, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 4, but we got the first down. And Tennessee got the ball in the first quarter with 6 minutes left in the first quarter. I mean, we were just able to extend the plays, and it's a weird Bobby Petrino offense.
Yeah, it's not the typical.
That's not the typical Bobby P offense, but it's working.
I think he
we
knows
gotta
what he
keep doing
has,
that.
and he's adjusting the play calls and
Yeah.
his philosophy with what he knows is going to work.
We had a few stupid penalties, but for the most part, I think we did very well,
Well,
in
the
that
crowd
category. They had 4 more penalties.
The crowd definitely caused a lot
Um,
of those penalties on Tennessee
for sure.
false starts and delay of games for sure. I mean, it was
Yeah.
it was loud. It was rocking. I think another thing that
I
got
was
everyone
at
fired up
at
was
Katera Bradley's
the
house
pregame
on
stuff.
Saturday, and I was after the game was ended. I was high fiving every dude
Yeah,
in the living room. I was so pumped.
yeah, it
I
was.
couldn't believe Malachi coming in there and being able to
Yeah,
do what he did to finish the game off.
yeah,
He's probably gets an honorable mention player of the game
Yeah.
just by what he did
now
at the end.
I think defensively, man, that's it's gonna be tough for me on the defensive side. Who
Defensively, I'm going to probably say Spence.
You got the big guy who was all over ESPN, with the
Cam Ball.
Cage.
Ball.
Yeah.
Cam Ball.
He
Did good.
he had 2 sacks?
Our D line probably as a
Stuffed the
whole,
middle.
just as a unit, probably deserves player of the game.
yeah,
Right.
But Spence is everywhere. I think Spence had. Let me find out what he had tackle wise. Let's see here, defense.
yeah,
T. Will, he's not a player, but he deserves with his blitz packages. He was mixing it up and getting guys like Cam Ball one-on-ones where normally they don't have that. Even with a 3-down package, he was throwing blitzes or not blitzing, but confusing the offensive line to where we
Yeah.
could get to him. And that's a big
Nico
part.
Slaughter had 8 tackles,
Yeah.
and 4 of those were solos.
Dix Jr.
And,
So I was thinking. I said
and
Spence,
Xavier
but it's
Sori
Dix Jr.
also had 8 tackles with 2 solos. I mean, TJ Mack.
Who's the
Metcalf
Worth
7.
guy? The Worth he's a new guy.
Larry Worth the third.
Yeah, Larry
something
Worth
like
the
that,
third.
yeah.
Yeah.
But even Cameron Ball had 1 sack.
Gregory
Gregory
had a sack and a half,
Yeah, Gregory was good.
and I'm sure Landon Jackson shared that half with
That
him.
half with him, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was good defensively. If we keep, I mean, the last few games,
Sori had
been
8 tackles,
scoring,
6 assists,
so
but 2
that's-
solos. I don't know if anybody other than Slaughter maybe had
Yeah.
upwards to 8.
I mean, maybe that's how we got to do it. We're used to high power, high scoring offense with Bobby Petrino, and I think
I think we could
Everyone
win
is,
either
really,
one
but
of those games. I think. I mean, if we play a
it's-
team that has a lot of offense but no defense,
well,
I think we might be able to keep
this
up with
week we're
If
going to
we
have
win
our
this
work cut
game,
out with
It's
passing.
gonna be nice because
Yeah,
we're gonna start talking about how many games we could lose realistically.
to make the playoffs. Oh my god, I'm already hearing that
can't-
talk from
we
the
can't
fans,
lose
and
anymore.
we got to
The
go.
only game I'm saying that we're
We've
probably
got
more
2
than likely
losses
going to
we
lose
can't.
is Texas. Any other game we could win. We could
I
literally
don't know.
go 10-2.
I don't know. I mean,
Or
they got
excuse
a
me,
lot of
9-3.
talent, but it's a
We
home
can go
game,
9-3.
and we're going to be so up for that game, just like we are LSU. I mean, anything can happen.
So if we go 9-3, hypothetically, we go 9-3, are we making the playoffs?
No,
No,
no, that's what I'm saying. We
No.
can't lose another game.
we
have to go 10
we have
to
have
be probably
one bad
even
loss
11 or 12
for sure. Oklahoma State, they're not as good as people thought. The last time I looked, I'm pretty sure that they lost 2 games, right?
They're
So you think at the end of the year, if we beat Missouri and Ole Miss, LSU, and all
Yeah,
of these
they're-
teams,
Yeah, they've
they're
lost 2
out.
games. They're not even in the top
and we
25
finish
anymore.
9-3, you don't think there's a
they
chance,
lost 3 games in a row.
a
you
chance
go.
at all that we make the top 12 in the country? You don't
This
think there's a
year-
chance
Mm-mm,
at 9-3 in the
Slim.
SEC?
Slim
mm-mm.
for us
See, I think there's a chance.
with the schedule we got remaining. Slim,
Yeah,
less than 5%.
I mean we're
Way
gonna have
less.
to, obviously, we're just gonna have to
I'm
win
gonna
out.
say
If we want a
30%
chance,
chance.
if we want
No.
a chance, there in my
2-3%
opinion, we're gonna have
chance
to-
of making the
we
playoffs.
have to
No
win
way.
out. But
If we win out, that's a sure thing.
Yeah,
But
If we win out, we're getting the playoffs.
yeah,
period.
for sure.
that's what I'm saying.
I'm
We
just
have
saying,
to
we
win.
so
would
one
have to,
game's
though.
going to make a
And-
difference of for
Yep.
sure
Yes.
getting in and not
The
getting
top
in
12?
at all 0%.
Yes,
We'll be in the
Yeah.
top. We'll be probably if we lose 3 games, we'll be like
Yeah.
15th to 20th. We won't make it.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
why I
well,
wanted
I
LSU.
won't- I will
wanted
agree to
LSU
disagree there.
I wanted
but
LSU
that's
to
fine.
win.
I think 3
last-
SEC teams are going to be in, but they're all going to have 2 losses.
Yeah, I wanted LSU to beat Ole Miss so we can hand LSU's second loss to them, and then go to come back and play Ole Miss in 2 weeks. And
So you're
and then their
saying,
third
okay, so
loss.
so Tennessee and Alabama play.
Yes.
So you're saying one of those is going to get their second loss.
Mhm.
So they can't lose again.
Yeah,
Right.
They'll all
If you
have to
lose
win
3
out.
times, you're not in the.
But you
playoff,
had
I
said
don't think.
before a couple episodes ago that you could see a 3-team SEC team getting into the playoffs.
Right, and you got to have.
So what would make that scenario true?
You would
'Cause
have
you're
to
saying
lose
Arkansas
to-
has a 0 chance now, but you said two episodes ago that there's a
It
chance
just
for
depends
that to
on your
happen.
losses. It depends on
See, I
your
think
losses
it
and
depends
when
on
your
what
losses
the
were.
other country, the rest of the country, the universities, what they do.
Well,
You've
I mean,
right now
obviously,
you've
but
got 3 undefeated teams.
I don't
You've got
think it has to
Texas,
do with their
Oregon,
loss.
Penn State.
They can overlook an Oklahoma State loss. I think it matters of what, let's say Michigan, let's say, Ohio State lost to Oregon. All these good teams that people had as, unbeatable are now losing ball games.
say like a team like, I don't even know what the record is. Like USC doesn't play a tough of a schedule. If they have 2 losses, we have 3 losses. Who are they putting in?
I would put a 3-team SEC loss team over a 2-team
I mean, I would too.
Pac-12 team.
Personally, I would too, because I think they would hold
Well,
better.
then I think the committee's going to
But
look
the
at that.
committee's
I don't
not going to
The
say.
committee's going to look
they're
at
gonna
that. I
look at the-
promise you they will. We
they
have the
look at-
3rd hardest schedule in the country. What is USC's strength of schedule?
But one of
20,
those, but
30?
one of those losses was to Oklahoma State, who's lost 3 in a row. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's a bad loss, and
Yeah.
they're going to look at that. They're going to look
It's
at
early
that.
in the year.
If we lose, just say we win this week, we lose to Texas,
Yeah.
and
And Vanderbilt had 68 votes, and we only had 13.
we win every other game.
That's
on the
crazy
top
to me.
25. Yeah. But here's the thing. We've got Texas, Oregon, Penn State all sitting right now at 6-0. Georgia is sitting at 5-1. They're the 5th team. So they're either going to have their second loss
So
this
who's 12
weekend
right now?
or the first 12 is going to be Texas, Oregon, Penn State, Ohio State, Georgia, Miami, Bama, LSU, Iowa
So
State,
Ole Miss
Clemson.
is 18 and they've got 2 losses.
But they could lose this weekend, or Tennessee can lose this weekend because Alabama and Tennessee play. LSU's going to lose because we're going to beat them.
Yeah.
And then Georgia or Texas is going to lose. One of the top 5 teams is going to lose this week because
It's a given.
it's a given. So
Well-
you're either going to Georgia's either that's another thing because Georgia might lose but win out, and it's just how the SEC is going to work.
We're
gonna be-
wasting time
They
talking
crowned
about this.
Ole
We're
Miss
not gonna.
early.
We're not gonna.
This is what I don't like about preseason trains.
We're gonna
Right.
lose 2 to 3
Ole
more
Miss has
games.
the same record
We'll
as
make a
us.
Yeah.
bowl game, but
But
I
Ole
mean,
Miss
you're
is
getting
gonna
way
be-
ahead of it.
Ole
Let's
Miss
beat
is gonna
LSU.
be out because we're going to beat them, and we're going to hand Ole Miss their 3rd loss.
I'll handle
Well,
these talks if we beat LSU, but until then, I'm not talking about it anymore. It's just not gonna happen. It's
we're
not.
beating LSU, but
I mean, I'll talk about it after that. Then I'll talk about our
Well,
playoff chances.
we're 4-2. We're not 5-2.
oh, okay. Well, I'm saying
5-1.
we'll
yeah.
be 5-2 after this week.
Yeah, we'll
is
be
what I'm
5-2 this week. All right. So I've got we'll keep music. Even though I can't hear it, but we'll do some whoopee cues real quick. Let's see. I'm looking at my screens and it's just y'all look the other way.
Josh, eye contact.
Yeah, make eye contact with each other. All right, question 1. What is the Oregon State rivalry known as? Is it
Turn that down.
turn what down?
The music.
What is the Oregon State rivalry known as? The Apple Bowl, the Snow Bowl, the Big Game, or the Civil War?
Say the
Civil
answers
War.
again.
D.
The Apple Bowl, the Snow Bowl, the Big Game, or the Civil War?
I'm gonna go D.
I'm gonna say C.
It is, in fact, D, the Civil War. Buck, 1.
Catching up.
Camo,
I got
0.
7.
All right. What team had the first SEC running back to win the Heisman? Is it A, Georgia, B, Alabama, C, LSU, or D, Florida?
Okay, say that again.
What team had the first SEC running back to win a Heisman? Was it Georgia, Alabama, LSU, or Florida?
I'm gonna say Georgia.
Yeah, I was thinking Herschel Walker, but I'm gonna say yeah, I'm gonna go with him.
You go who?
Georgia.
It is Georgia. You're correct, but it wasn't Herschel Walker.
It wasn't?
No, it was I don't remember his name now. But it was not Herschel
You should
Walker.
have that answer.
I know.
That was what, the 70s?
Listen, let me just take a pause out from this because my day was messed up. Okay, I didn't go into the office in Little Rock.
You know what
Okay,
they say about excuses.
Yeah.
listen, I don't care. But we had a company-wide little fun day this afternoon. We played paintball at Precision Paintball in
Oh.
Bologna.
There you
Shout
go.
out Precision Paintball, which is Greg and Tyler. I work with them, and Braden. I work with all 3 of them. They own that. So
Braden is in with them.
yeah. So if you're
Well, heck yeah.
if you're in the Central Arkansas area, and you
Go
want to play
paintball it up at
play some
Precision.
paintball, Precision Paintball, just off
Did
of
they-
107 in Bologna.
And
It
the
was
go kart places in Bologna.
super fun. Yeah.
Anyway,
All right. So Question 3. Who was the starting quarterback for UCLA in 1987 and 1988
Random
seasons?
questions that.
Was it A, Troy Aikman, B, Tommy Maddox, C, Rodney Peete, or D, David Norrie?
I have no idea. Troy Aikman didn't play for UCLA, did he?
Go answer.
What's B and C?
You copied me last time, so I'm gonna copy you.
A, Troy Aikman, B, Tommy Maddox,
Tommy Maddox for sure.
C,
It's
Rodney
him,
Peete,
yeah.
or D, David Norrie?
Old Tommy.
I'm gonna say Troy Aikman. He played at UCLA and went to Oklahoma after that.
It is, in fact, A,
Damn.
Troy Aikman. So, Camo, you're up 2-2. It's tied 2-2 because you got first
Yeah.
and second one correct. So it's 2-2. Let's see. Question 4. Where did Dick Butkus attend college? Was it A, Kentucky, B, Army, C, Syracuse, or D, Illinois?
Where did who attend college?
Dick Butkus.
I should know this.
Mm-hmm.
What
Dick
was the last
Butkus used
two?
to pee his pants before the game. to intimidate
Syracuse
the
or Illinois?
offense.
Was, C and D.
Oh, Dick Butkus. Oh,
It's your
man, I
turn.
should know this. I didn't report on Dick Butkus in grade school. Gosh, man. I'm going to say Syracuse.
Illinois.
It is, in fact, D, Illinois.
God,
3-2, Buck.
I just went
man,
with something
you had to
different.
pick two orange teams. I knew it was either Illinois or Syracuse, but I didn't know which one.
I'm glad you picked up on that.
Yeah.
All right, last question. What college team plays in Happy Valley? Is it A, Purdue, D, C, wow, B, Michigan?
Are you all right over
I'm struggling.
there?
C, Northwestern, or D, Penn State? A, Purdue, B, Michigan, C, Northwestern, or D, Penn State?
But
I have no idea. I see a trend going with C's and D's. So I'm going to go with your D, Penn State.
I don't want to copy, but I know D's the right answer, so I'm going to say D.
It's in fact D.
Dang it.
I
I
had
was
no
trying
idea.
to grab
So
it. I was trying to get
Buck
you.
wins this week, 4-3. So congratulations, Buck. You get nothing.
Not even a pat on the back.
No.
No.
All right. That's the extent of the show that I had planned right there. So now we're going to wing it. I'm telling you,
We win this
taking off
one.
last week really messed me up because,
The bye week just, set you back.
man.
Hopefully that's not what the Hogs do.
No,
They
no.
get a
Funny that you
week
say
off.
that because I got an interesting fact for you.
Oh, I thought you should get nothing planned. Now you got
Well,
facts.
I've got one more.
Yeah,
I've got one more. Well,
New segment brought to you by.
it is a we're
Straight
moving,
up out
no,
loud.
we're moving into to Arkansas LSU, but I got an interesting fact here. Sam Pittman is 9-2 in games where no game the previous week was played. This includes the bowl game and the first year he played.
Let's go. Let's keep that trend going.
9-2.
What kind of
No.
useless stat is
We're
that?
also-
That means absolutely
Are
nothing.
you kidding
we're
me?
That means nothing.
That's 5 years of bye
What do you
week.
mean
of
that
bye
doesn't mean
weeks,
anything?
coming back and
doesn't-
winning.
It doesn't.
What
mean
kind of
anything.
stat would mean something then?
It doesn't mean anything.
We're 5-1 in night games, also, guys. We're 5-1.
I mean,
in
who
night
knows? We
Yep.
could have played, cupcake teams after that. I know probably every one of them wasn't because
So-
we got
so
two
here-
losses.
Here,
Obviously,
let's
but-
double this up.
Georgia.
If you feel like that's a meaningless stat, let's double up and parlay the two. We're 5-1 in night games, and we're 9-2 in games where we don't play a game a week before.
both of
so
those
I-
meaningless.
But put those together, you don't think they mean nothing?
Not for the win
Come on,
outcome
bro.
on
You're just being
Saturday.
hard on the Hogs.
No, it doesn't mean nothing.
You're just
I
being
mean,
hard on the Hogs.
it's nice to look at. It's nice to look at those stats and be like, "That's pretty cool." So it gives you confidence, but it means nothing. It means nothing.
Sure, I guess. What freaking buzzkill that was.
I mean, somebody's got to be real up here. We can't just be like, oh yeah, we're
What's the
9-2
point of stats?
with rain games, and the first football is a completion pass. We're
bet on rain
9-2
games,
in
I
that
bet we're
game. I mean,
really-
it means
I
But
bet we're
what
really good at
stats do
doing
need
rain
something?
games, so.
It's not perfect. It's not going to tell you what's going to happen.
our
It just says that
wins and losses.
it's an
mean the
educated
most,
guess on
obviously.
what could possibly happen. It's an educated guess.
Yeah.
Wins and losses total of
It
this
tells you
year means
Well,
everything.
last year we played Mississippi State, embarrassing 7-3 loss, fired
Dan Enos.
Enos, went on by, went to Florida and
beat 'em.
beat them 39-36.
20
So
oh,
there's
yeah.
one of the, 2022. Let me find the bye.
Maybe a stat against Sam Pittman against what's his name?
Here's the bye.
LSU.
2022.
What's his
Here's
record
the
against each
Brian
other?
Kelly.
here's the
Yeah.
bye week in 2022. We beat BYU and then had a bye week, came back in 2 weeks, beat Auburn 41-27.
Didn't we play Notre Dame a few years ago? Was Brian Kelly?
No.
It was like 3 or 4
We
years
have
ago.
not played Notre Dame in years. Years and years and years. And
I
years
swear.
ago.
2021
I think the last time we played Notre Dame, Houston Nutt was our coach.
beat UAPB in Little Rock. Bye week, came back, beat Mississippi State 31-28. So really, it's a streak 3 years in a row. We're 3-0 right now on. Let's see, bye week in 2020, Pittman's first year.
Look, what's going to matter this
Mm,
week
this one's tough.
for us
Hang on.
winning the game? I mean, it's just going to come. Those stats, I mean, you can talk about them, but they don't mean much. What's going to matter this
We're
week?
we're three
Is-
we're
is
3-1
us
off a
winning-
bye week with Sam Pittman.
Us winning the turnover
I
battle
like it.
We're 3-1.
I like it.
And his
So let's
in
go.
time of possession.
Let's end the episode with this.
That's the
three
most important
keys to
thing.
the game. The 3 keys to the game, and then we'll go with our prediction
Yeah.
of score. Of
Turnover
who's gonna
battle,
win and score.
time of possession, and rushing yards. I think those 3 things are the most important. Rushing yards, I guess, both ways. Stopping the run. We got to have more.
They cannot run the ball. I think they're averaging like 3 yards or less in rushing. Like that.
Right, but we're
they're-
going to load up to stop the pass, so they're probably going to have more than you think. I would go over on that if that was a bet.
If they run the
because
ball,
we're
if
going
they-
to
if
do
we
like
stop
we
the run-
did against Tennessee.
or
We're going to completely stop the pass and make them run the ball, and they probably will because they have
And
the athletes to do that. Oh my God!
hey, if we do that, if we stop the pass where we have to make them run, ball game. Ball game. Our run defense is good. Our linebackers are good. And if they beat us on the ground, then they're just the better team. But if we stop the pass, CJ Daniels is going to be back. He's listed as probable for LSU. He's going to be
I
back.
think I
He's
don't know
gonna
if we'll
play.
stop them. I think we'll slow them
I
down
think we'll slow him down.
enough to.
So,
But
Nussmeier
Nussmeier is going to.
Nussmeier can sling it.
You don't think LSU knows their weaknesses though, and say, "Hey, we haven't ran the ball very well. Let's try to
Let's time out. Who is it?
No, let's not.
stop."
Let's not.
This is.
Anyway, so
He looks like Shrek.
yeah, donkey. Shut up. Oh gosh.
So your 3 keys to the game are
Time of possession,
possession.
turnover battle, and rushing.
okay. Go
Having
ahead,
more
I'll-
rushing yards.
Go ahead.
I'm going
I'll-
to say 1 O-line. Again, piggyback off the Tennessee game. They did probably the best game they played against Tennessee, the O-line, which I did not expect because they have a pretty stout front, but they played together as a unit. So I'm going to say O-line because if we can't pass block and run block and put up some yardage and some points against LSU, we'll get routed. They're that good. I think they're better than Tennessee.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
So we'll get
Hell.
routed if we can't block on offense. So I'll say O-line, and then I'll say D-line. I think even more so in the Tennessee game. The reason why we won the Tennessee game, y'all said defense. I say we won it in the trenches. Both lines, defense and offensive line, we dominated them, and that's why we were able to win the game. So I'll say D-line number 2.
I
and
wouldn't
then
say we dominated. We won, but I wouldn't say we
We-
dominated.
They scored 14 points, and they averaged
they're the-
52
They
points
were
a
the
game.
number
But you're
two or
if
three
you're saying
offense
if
in
you're
the
saying
nation.
we
I
That's
dominated
not
dominated,
the
dominate. They
nation.
We
averaged
domi-
52 points a game, but we held them to 14 points. That's dominating a team.
Well,
I would
we
agree.
played to them. We didn't dominate them though. What was
They
the
scored
total?
14 points and they averaged 52 the first.
But
4 or
you're
5
saying we
games of the year.
dominated them in the trenches. We didn't dominate them in the
I
trenches.
would
It
say
was a
all of
close
the-
game. If we dominated them, we would have won by 30.
Well, we should have. We should have. We had drives stall. We couldn't get
You
it in
can
the
say
end
we
zone.
should have, would have,
We
could
had
have, all
500
you
yards
want.
of offense.
I
Yeah,
mean,
did we dominate them score wise? No, but
That's what
they
I'm
had
saying.
more
Score-
rushing yards than us. How
We
did we
had-
dominate them in the trenches?
we had
No, we
almost-
won.
we had more passing yards than them.
Way
Okay.
more. Way
That,
more.
that high power,
We had
playing
drive
offense.
stall, or we would have beat them by 30 points. If our drives
I
had
mean,
been
we got in
stalled.
the red zone 3-4 times
Times
and
and-
couldn't
and didn't do
freaking
nothing.
put it in.
Like if we finish those drives, we do route them and we do dominate them. But just because the score doesn't
I think
reflect
you're
it,
confusing
I'm saying-
winning and dominating is like.
I'm saying on
The
the
score,
field,
you're
you're using the score.
I'm
as
No,
a
I'm not. I'm
domination.
looking at the
You're
rushing
one-dimensional
yards.
here.
I'm looking at the rushing yards. We had more attempts than them and less yards than them.
We passed the ball more.
We had more attempts all around because of the time of
74
possession.
74 plays to 57 something. Right?
Well, I
No,
mean,
50 something.
but to say we dominated in the trenches, I don't agree with that. We
I would-
won in the trenches, but we didn't dominate. We did what we had to.
Well, I think you're using the score as a bit of domination.
I'm
But if
using
you-
mostly the
if
rushing
you went
yards.
and watched the film, I guarantee you'd be like, we whipped their
I
butt
watched the game. I watched
80%
some
of the
highlights.
time, every time the ball
obviously.
was snapped.
I mean,
We drove them back instead of them driving us back on offense and defense.
for the most part,
80%
yeah,
of the time.
we
If
won.
you win your matchup 80% of the time, I'm going to say that's domination.
yeah.
That's the way I would classify it. If it was more
kinda leaning more with
50-50,
you on this one
If
there,
it was
Kimbo.
more 50-50, then that's not domination. That's just winning, half the time. But if you vast majority win your one-on-one matchups on the O and D line 80% of the time, like we did, to me, you're whooping your.
If
dude.
you ask
You're
somebody-
whooping your guy.
If you ask somebody, last thing I got to say, what the stat is the number one factor for dominating up front, in the trenches. What is that stat?
What is it?
I mean,
Handicap
I'll say
blocks? Or what are you talking about?
stat that people look at, rushing yards. They don't look at passing yards to see who dominated the trenches. They don't look at
You look at-
anything
you
else.
look at
sack.
They look at
rushes,
sacks,
hurries,
rushing yards,
hurries.
hurries. Right. And they wanted
How many
rushing
times was
yards. They
Taylor
had
Green hurried?
more
How many
rushing.
times was he sacked? And how many rushing yards?
I'm
did we
agreeing. You're confusing.
Yeah.
We won. We won. We just didn't dominate like you're saying. We won. But
I would say check the film. I would say,
check the film, coach.
yeah,
Let's
the
get
eye
the
in the
film
sky
out.
don't lie.
Oh my god.
And then 3, that was 1 and 2, offense, defensive line. 3, I'll say time of possession. And we're going to have to keep their offense
sure.
off the field. I think time possession is.
We had 10
really
more
key.
minutes than them. I mean, it was
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah. I'm going to go with we got to run the ball, and that's going to lead into time of possession, I think. But we got to secondary is the key this game, and so rushing secondary, and I might be this might be a little weird, but I think the key of the game
Special teams.
is going to be the fans.
Oh,
I think it's going to be involvement and noise and
Well, that,
even-
they're actually
they're
a key
gonna
in
have a-
Tennessee game.
they're gonna have a
We
big
caused
factor.
them to jump. The fans caused
They're
them
gonna
to
have a
jump 5
factor.
times.
it's going to be way louder Saturday
You think?
than it was
Tennessee?
against LSU than it was against Tennessee. It's I think there's.
I
Gonna
mean,
be a
you're
lot
onto
more
something there.
people.
I mean, honestly, most people think that's the only reason we have a chance because we're at home,
I mean,
just like
we,
against Tennessee.
we have to be
We
loud.
need to be the X factor for sure.
yeah.
need to be the X factor.
Those are my 3.
Hog fans, if you're going to be there, be
Yeah.
loud, be proud, call those hogs.
That's right. Well, what's your score? Give us your score prediction.
Oh gosh, I think in my book I had this as a loss, but I'm going to change it
Mm-hmm.
just because the way we've played, and
And
we said this was
those
subject
were at
to
the very
change.
beginning before we saw any
Any
game,
play,
any
we didn't know what
plays.
LSU looked like. We didn't know what we
Yeah.
looked like. After beating Tennessee and knowing that what our fans can bring to the table, what our team can bring to the table, I'm going to say Hogs win in a fourth quarter game. Very close. I'm going to say 39-36.
Oof, that's
You
high-
messed it
that's
up
high-
right there.
That's high score.
We all
right
had them
there.
as the loss last week.
39-36.
and they won. So I'm gonna stick with us losing.
That doesn't mean nothing. That stat does not
That don't
mean
mean nothing, but
I'll wear my lucky underwear that day.
I'll wear my lucky underwear every Saturday. Okay.
My lucky left sock, and yeah,
I ain't lying. I have a lucky
I
pair
think-
of underwear that I put on every
Well,
Saturday.
you better put them on
they've won one game. They've won one game.
I'm
You know,
a
against
as
little
early
Tennessee.
as
I'm a
possible.
little stitious.
They just haven't shown me enough. Show me again. So I think we're gonna have a loss.
So when are you going to start predicting the Hogs to win after they win
Enough
this time?
of these games. Enough of these. You know,
By
Tennessee.
the
If we
Missouri
win this game,
By the Missouri game, we'll be
We might win our
9
bowl game.
We'll be 9-2.
We might win the bowl game.
I hope so. I'll keep predicting the loss. Maybe we'll keep winning. No, I think we'll lose. I think the passing attack might get to us.
That's
in
my
the-
fear.
Yeah.
That
Is
they throw-
Braxton
they
coming
throw-
back this week? It's
No. he's
So
out.
with that
He's
being
out.
said, I think they might score some points,
But
and that might be your downfall.
Kudus is back. Kudus
he's
is
on
back.
the depth chart. Yeah.
He is back, so he could play. But
I'm-
say that
Say,
last
say
part.
it again. Sorry.
I don't. What do you
Your
mean?
score. What?
34-24. I think the passing attack. I think we might actually have a little bit of comeback. I think they're going to get out ahead of us by a couple touchdowns. We're going to be playing catch up, and that's not our game. We can't play catch up. If we don't start out, yeah, somehow.
Who's down
Like we
11.
all talked about it, though. I mean, has that ever happened? I mean, that doesn't happen, especially with the Sam Pittman team. You haven't seen that. Like, you were in the stands.
Mm.
I bet that stands was probably quiet until we.
I mean, like I said, when
After
Taylor-
we drove
when
down and
Taylor-
made that drive.
when Taylor Green went down, it was like a little like crap. you
Well,
know?
I can tell
But-
you, 95% of fans were thinking in that moment they went up 14-3. Well, we almost had them.
Here we go.
Here we go. It's Arkansas football.
But we
you know.
did. We did.
We
Yeah.
came back surprisingly.
We proved
So
them
it was
I think that might
We
happen
proved
again.
fans
But
like Buck
yeah.
wrong.
Yeah.
keep proving me wrong. I hope so.
So you
But,
said 34-24?
Yep.
Well, at the beginning of the season, before we saw offense, defense, anything, I also had a loss, but I had it 21-24 because it's usually
It's
always
funny,
That's why I've got it
close.
39-36.
I had a win.
Because it's always a
if
close
we
game.
lost last week, I would have predicted a win this week. I just think
But
we're going to have a
You
letdown.
said that.
I'm
too.
changing. I'm changing. I think I really do think our secondary is going to step up in a big way. Are they going to? Is LSU going to score points? Yes, they're a good football team.
Bobby Petrino.
But-
It's got a Bobby Petrino.
We've got to throw some stuff at him on defense. T will. I think he's going to scheme it up. I think he's going to get some pressure on Nussmeier. And I'm actually going to go 31-28 Hogs, fourth quarter game. Ramsey's not our kicker. It's the other guy. I don't even know his name, but
Shipley.
Matt Shipley. And
And I like Shipley
I
better.
think
I like
we
Shipley
take
better.
it down.
I think he's a gamer.
Weaker leg, but yeah.
I think
No,
he's
I think
accurate.
he's a gamer though.
He's also, in the
Sometimes-
moment. Yeah, you
sometimes
got to have the
guys-
mindset. Yeah, you
Sometimes
don't know.
guys are just better when the lights come on.
And it's not just kickers and like
Yeah.
punters.
No,
it's every
everybody.
position.
Yeah, I mean,
exactly.
so 31-28 is my score prediction. Hogs win on a field goal. Obviously a fourth quarter game. Last year we lost by 3. Year before that, 3-point game, lost by 3. 2021, I know we beat them by 3.
It's been a 3-point
So I'm
game.
gonna say this. I'm going to say we're going to be winning
Ellen,
39.
2020, Pittman's first year.
Oh, you can't change it
We
now.
lost.
No, I'm going to say
We
how
lost
we
by
get to
30.
39-36.
Oh,
We're 39-29. They're driving. Few minutes left in the game. They score. We get the ball and we get a first down to milk the clock. We end up winning by 3.
Yeah, I mean,
39-36.
ever since Sam Pittman has been our head coach, this game has been a 3-point ball game every single year, all 4 years.
Yeah, I remember Cam Little kicking that one
And
a couple years ago.
I'm going with True. I'm going to go.
It was overtime,
I think history's going to repeat itself. I think it's going to be 31-28 Hogs, but we're on the dub side this year.
I like it.
So
I hope you're right.
yeah. Well, I mean, go Hogs.
Go Hogs. Yeah, I hope everybody's watching. I'm sure you will be.
Yeah, I mean,
Excited to-
like I said, if you're
Excited to get to 5-2.
What time's the game again?
6
6
o'clock.
o'clock.
6 o'clock on ESPN, I believe.
Neither one of y'all going this week?
No, my wife is going out of town, so I'm going to have 3 kids.
What was that?
What? Are you going?
I may or may not go.
Are you going?
Who says that?
Huh?
I never said anything. I'm not going.
I know you're not going. You'll be in the deer woods.
Yeah.
These guys, I got my picture made with McFadden in Dallas. And these guys tried to get me to post a picture
Yeah, do it.
on the,
You should have on our Facebook
yeah, on
page.
the Facebook page, but I refrained.
So you're going?
I may or may not go. I'm a pri- I'm
It's a
private-
maybe,
I'm a-
okay?
I'm a private person.
Are
Ladies
you
and
going or
gentlemen,
not?
he will be there.
Whatever.
Be there, be square.
All right. Well,
All
hey,
right.
appreciate everybody out there. Go like and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Apple Podcasts,
All that good stuff.
all the
the
good
rap
stuff.
what you
jazz.
Spotify, we're on there. All right.
Appreciate the love and
We should be able to get Facebook Live going.
I
but I don't know why
I don't
the heck
know
it's
if
not
it's
working.
not working. I can't
Have to
figure it out.
out.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah.
So it says we're on. Says it's
We
going.
need to fire our producer. Is what it is.
You damn
Yeah.
right. I'm tired of doing it. I want to just be able to focus on talking. So, all right, cool. Woo pig, go
Woo
Hogs.
big, go
Go
Hogs,
Hogs.
guys.
There it goes.
Is it off?
Yeah.